Welcome to the Learn to Earn podcast. I am your host, Josh Crisp, founder of Crisp Financial. I have a special guest today, Kian Frost. I love that first name because when I first met you, I got it wrong, and I'll never get it wrong again. But man, we just met, not like yesterday, but recently, and I've grown to love you, and the bond that we have, and the business relationship as well that we've grown into have is awesome. But you know, the way that you carry yourself and what you do day in and day out, and how you lead your team is it's inspiring, because it reminds me a lot of myself, and that's what's awesome, to see somebody come in and be like, hey, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do. I'll follow it. I'll make it happen. And I just want to follow what you did. And I'm a simple guy. I'm not going to do anything crazy or anything different. I just need direction. And I say that humbly, not that I think I know all the answers, but with experience and, background, it makes the process easier, simpler, and we cut out all of the speed bumps that you may go over. And it's awesome to be able to have those conversations with you day in and day out, because when I'm talking to you, it's like talking to myself. And I remember when I would talk to Pete, and I'd be like, man, how long do I have to write business for until I can get out of the field? And then when I talk to you, it's like, man, I don't really like writing business, but I'll do it. But my goal is to just, I'll do whatever you say I got to do. But I mean, man, dude, it's just a blessing that we cross paths, and to be able to work side by side you, and just the friendship that we now have, and watching you be the leader of your team, and an awesome dad, and have that work-life balance. I think that you've probably been missing for a little while.
Yep.
And just be able to just be a role model is absolutely awesome. So if you don't mind, kind of just share what got you into insurance in the first place.
Yeah, man. So I got into insurance roughly, just about 3 years ago now. Prior to be honest, I didn't really have any direction in my life. I was going through the motions of college, getting a degree in chemistry that I had no interest in pursuing, which basically got me $50,000 a year for the rest of my life, unless I decided to go back to school for another 4 to 6 years to get my PhD. So I had no passion for that, man. All I was really doing while I was in college was partying, staying out late, doing all that rah-rah stuff. And then I just kind of happened to stumble into it. I met some people that were my age, not smarter than me, not better than me in any way, and they were making tons of money in insurance. And I was just like, okay, if these guys can do it, I can do it too. So I got connected with one of them, started in the opportunity, and then it's kind of just been wraps from there.
Yeah. You're taking me back to those days, man. What's funny is I tried to go to college, and I thought I wanted to go to college, but it ended up, I always tell people, I majored in partyology and mixology.
Yep.
I got really good at partying and mixing drinks, and I dropped out. Because those aren't real majors, but they're fun ones. And what ended up happening is actually a crazy story is the same company that you came from is where I started from. And when I was in college, I was living on a house off of campus, and my neighbor had a buddy, and he would always show up, and he had a nice car, dressed nice. And I'm just like, dude, what the heck does that dude do? And he's like, he sells life insurance. I was like, he sells life insurance? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, there's no way. He sells life insurance. He's like, yeah, man, he makes good money. And at that time, I was broke, busted, disgusted, college guy, just like trying to find my way, partying, staying up all night, just like trying to find the next girl to hang out with, what do college guys do, right? Yeah. And it got to a point where I'm just like, dude, that guy is no more special than I am. If he can do it, I can do it, right? So then, back in the day, this is going to show my age, I go on Craigslist. And I apply for every single life insurance position there is. And I end up getting a call from the same position, or the same company, excuse me, that this guy worked for. And come to find out, he's like the golden child at this company. So like he's like fed all the great resources. He's given everything that like you can possibly get. He's put on a pedestal. So I'm like, oh, okay, now this makes sense why this guy is there. But then it gave me a chip on my shoulder even more. And I was like, I don't even care. I'm still going to come in and I'm going to wipe the floor with this dude, because I show up to my interview and there's like Lamborghini, Ferrari, Rolls Royce, Ghost, like all these crazy cars. I'm just like, dude, where am I? And that company, that's like how they recruited people. And I didn't even really own a suit. So like I had to go find like, I don't even know really where I found these clothes from. But at the time, I got like some dress pants and a dress shirt and an oversized tie. But my dress pants were like really baggy. My dress shirt was like wrinkled and my tie was probably like down to my knees. I just looked a mess. I did not look the part of all these other people in that building. But I didn't care because I saw what he had and I knew that if he could do it, I could do it. So I go in there. Long story short, within about 3 months, I ended up passing him up because I just put my head down. I was like, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make it happen. And that's why I dropped out of college, is because I noticed that most people graduate college with a bachelor degree making what, $35,000, $40,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing people around me making $100,000, $200,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million a year. I'm like, there's no need for me to go to college when I could go into insurance and I could make this kind of money. But then I started realizing that politics played a lot, and then favoritism played a lot. So even though I came and I passed this guy up, they were doing everything they could to knock me down. And that's when I was like, man, it's hard out here in this real life. Yep. And that's when reality really set in. And I know for you, you and I are very similar in that aspect to like when you were at your previous company, you did well. You built a large team, you made good money, but the people around you weren't making money. Mm-hmm. And that bothered you. Yeah. So if you don't mind talking about like, the success that you had, and what drove you to want more for your people.
Yeah, 100%. So actually one thing to back up on is kind of how similar we are. I actually also dropped out of college. I was crazy part, man. I was in my 5th year. I was a super senior. I had like 2 classes to go, and then I started training. I was like, all right, I'm never going to class again. Right, and do or die mentality there. But as for leaving and wanting more for my people, really a lot of it was I was making very good money. Most of my top leaders were making very good money, 6 figures plus. But the issue was next ring on the ladder was doing maybe $30,000, $40,000, right, and then just down from there, right. And that's my next best guy up. And it wasn't a lack of skill set. It wasn't a lack of work ethic, good attitude, mindset, anything like that. It was just solely the fact that they didn't have access to the resources or the products or the coaching that they needed. We did everything we could. We generated, we were on track to do over $1 million in issued premium this year. We, over 80% of that business came from referrals, right? And because of that, it was, we were able to grow a decent bit, but the leads were the main thing that were constricting us. Yeah. So not having that access was a big thing and kind of kept plateauing our growth. Where we were just smacking a ceiling at $25,000, $30,000 every single week. Couldn't retain more people because they couldn't consistently get paid. And then, we come over here. Now all my new agents are writing significantly more business. People that were doing $1,000 to $2,000 a week in sales are now doing $4, $5, $6 grand a week. Some even doing $10,000 plus. And we've roughly 300 to 400% increase in our production in the last 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, what you guys have done since you've came over here is inspiring because, I mean, when you first come over, obviously it's going to be nerve-wracking because it's an unknown, right? Like, you guys know that you have the work ethic, you know that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen, but there's still a little nerves that run through where you're like, man, did I make the right decision? Is this going to work? And is this going to be better? But you trust in yourself, and then you don't put as much pressure on yourself, but you put the pressure on the system. But the numbers that you just shared that your agency was doing at the previous company, like, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, so here we're actually about to hit our first $100,000 a week. I think right now we're at $98,000 on the week so far. It's crazy because that's roughly about 400% increase, and we've only been here just over 90 days now.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. But there's a reason why, right? Because here we all work a very systematic system.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like a bait and switch type of deal, right?
100%.
So like, we're dealing with mortgage protection. So like, when somebody buys a home, they refinance, they take out a home equity line of credit, we protect them so that way we protect their biggest asset. So in the event that they pass away, we want to make sure that their family is not left with that financial burden, so that way they can stay in the home. Right. So like, when I built my house, my wife's a stay-at-home mom. So I'm the sole income earner. If something happens to me, she's screwed. So it's important. People need this and they want it.
Yeah.
So when you have a product that people need and want, it makes it a lot more simple. But on top of that, it's the way that we generate our leads. We have our own in-house mail house, which our lead system, where we send a postcard to somebody in the mail. They call into a 1-800 number. They provide their date of birth, the last four of their social. They answer some questions. If they use tobacco, they had a history of a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. Some additional questions. They hang up the phone, and then it becomes an immediate lead. So the intent on that lead shows that that person is interested.
Oh, yeah.
So now all you got to do is just follow a script.
Oh, yeah.
So what we've done is we've created a blueprint. And what I like about it is you don't have somebody doing like mortgage protection, somebody doing final expense, somebody doing IULs, and somebody doing annuities. Everybody is following a niche. So we can manage this business off of four things, which is your contact rate, your booked rate, your show rate, and your close rate. And off of those four things, that's how we can determine profitability. And here we're able to buy our income. And sometimes people, that's scary to them because they're not used to that. But when you can actually buy your income and know what your ROI is supposed to be based off of expectations, it becomes a really fun business.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And when I seen you guys come over and I saw the work ethic that your crew had, I knew you guys were going to blow up because you just need to have good resources. And I don't care who you are in this industry or what you say, it comes down to the leads.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
100%.
It gives you the work-life balance that you want. It gives you the confidence and the scalability. Because when you have systems, processes, and structure, that's when you have a foundation that's scalable. Because can you imagine if we didn't have a model to be able to plug those agents in and get them going right away? Those people that you would have brought over from other companies, other industries to a new company, they would never make it.
Oh, yeah.
It would just be like the Wild Wild West wondering, what do I do from here? But honestly, that's how this industry typically is.
Oh, yeah.
There's really no training. It's like every man for themselves and nobody knows what they're doing. So what do you like most about Unitrust, and what does your agency appreciate most about Unitrust, and what do you notice as big differences from your last company to here?
That's a long list, to be honest with you. So,
Hey, we got time.
yeah. So one of the biggest things that my people have communicated with me is they love how they're not micromanaged here, right? Most of the guys that work on my team and the ladies too, they they're self motivated. They know what they need to do and they know what they need to get done to do it. They don't necessarily need somebody hawking them down. Every time they're not on a call, if they got something going on X, Y, Z. They're still reliable enough to do the work themselves. The other thing was call volume was a big one. We went from average rep on my team making 300 to 500 calls a day to maybe get 1 to 2 presentations. Now my people are making 60 to like 100, 150 phone calls every day, getting 5, 6, 10 presentations a day.
Wow.
That's the main reason our production has gone up almost 400% in just 90 days. We've been, at the end of the day, it's all about generating presentations because that's when you generate revenue and sales, right? And if you, kind of like you said, if you can't control your lead access, states you have access to or products you have access to, there's no real way to grow and scale your business. It'd be like, you have 100 leads and you can get X dollar amount of premium out of those leads. And every week you just try and squeeze more and more premium out of it, but it's not there, right? Versus here, hey, just go get more leads. Go increase your access, go get another state to work in, right? And those are probably, I would say, some of my favorite things. Also the leadership that we get, mentorship, and then also the systems, the support staff that we have. A lot of stuff that's really rare to find at brokerages in this industry.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of what you mentioned, even me coming from the brokerage side to the brokerage side, and you going from the captive side to the brokerage side, those are the reasons why I came here. Because it's so hard to find a company that invests into technology and innovation. Normally, it's on you, and it's not cheap. Like normally you have to buy your own CRM, pay for your CRM, develop your own CRM, and it can cost millions of dollars to get it done right. Like we have our own back office CRM that tracks issue paid, pending business, our leadership, our leaderboard. Also, we can see our placement, our persistency by carrier. I mean, any report you could possibly think of, like when somebody comes in and signs an ICA that is licensed or unlicensed, we literally have access to everything that you would need to have a profitable business. There's no guessing, and there's no hoping, and there's no praying. It's literally, what's going on. And that's what I love most about it, because a lot of times I feel like when people don't know what they don't know, they have doubt. And here, we know what the expectations are. So like I do release meetings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with new agents. Like no matter how big we get, I made a commitment that until I have somebody that helps me with the release meetings, which, it's not going to be anytime soon, but I'm going to consistently do the release meetings because I like, 1, meeting our new agents. 2, I like letting them know that I'm available for them. And 3, it allows me to connect and see people's backgrounds and where they're from, why they came here, and hear their stories, which inspires me. But during those calls and those release meetings, I set it up where I just want them to understand, like, hey, we have expectations that we lay right in front of you, so that way you know what to expect. Because if you don't know what to expect, you're going to be defeated. So for example, if you don't book enough appointments in your own head, you may give up too quick. But if you look down on the paper and you see, hey, you're actually supposed to book 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 5, and you actually are better than that, give yourself a pat on the back. Like you're actually doing a good job. Keep going. And that's what I love about it. Anywhere else, they didn't have that. It was just like, buy more leads, work harder. Buy more leads, work harder. For what? Why? What's that going to do? Who's that going to help? Give me a purpose. And that frustrated me so bad because when you can't give somebody direction and a reasoning behind it, they stop trusting you. And I feel like here, there's no micromanaging because it's simple. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, Kian, these leads suck. I can't get anybody on the phone. Nobody's booking appointments with me. And then you say, well, what's your dialed reach book? And they say, well, I didn't do that. That's on them. Mm-hmm. But if they come back and they say, well, I called 20 people, I talked to 2 and I booked none, then your response is simple. What do you think the problem is? And then I guarantee you 99% of the time, they're going to tell you what the problem is. So there's no need to micromanage somebody because it's all about just asking the right questions. But if you have the data to back it up, it does the job for you. It's just being real with people. And, you know, you have a guy on your team that came in here, and he's written more apps than anybody I've ever met, like, which is awesome. Because I remember when he first came in, he was like slow and steady. But now, like, he's just like he's just writing all kinds of apps. And somebody like that, who came from the last company, he was a top producer, to come over here, and he's still a top producer, but stays consistent. Like, even if it doesn't happen right away, doesn't mean it won't happen, right? Yeah. Like, you also have another guy, I believe he went like, 0 for 30?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
When he first started.
Now, that's not normal, but this guy's a beast. He's like one of our top 5, but he didn't give up. He also likes to get punched in the face, like, for fun. We're going to his fight tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Like, I mean, dude, like, it's crazy, but I like to share these differences because, like, if people just knew it existed, you could save so many people. So, like, what is your, like, goal with being on the broker side now, and how are you going to help so many more agents?
Goal is to just, ideally build a 100 million plus a year sales team, right? Same goal I've had. And plan to help as many agents. Mostly organic growth. You know, me and my people, we love to go out, recruit together, talk to people, mostly just network and meet people, right? And then through that, naturally, the right people tend to find us, right? They'll see our Instagram stories, content we put out, things of that nature. And a lot of times they'll end up reaching out, or they're just like, wow, the culture looks amazing. It looks like you guys have a ton of fun working together. And they'll end up reaching out, asking about it. And a lot of times they'll end up, wanting to come join the team and work with us. But mostly, man, it's just, especially since coming here, I've really had it like in my heart to try and, because I know so many people that were in situations like myself, right, where they're frustrated. They feel like they're stuck in that like hamster wheel where they're just staying in the same spot no matter how hard they keep working. And I just have this like this feeling in my heart where I just want to help these people, help them find a better opportunity, or at least just whatever's best for them, whether it's with me or not with me.
Yeah. Honestly, that makes you a good person, because some people don't give a shit about other people, and it shows. And all they care about is what they can make off of people, how much money they're making. But when you actually do good for people, good things happen. And that's why you guys are growing together as a team. And when people see that, like, what I love most about our culture right now is, like, we don't have anybody here that has like big egos, because I don't think it's going to work well here. You have way too big of an ego. You're going to have to learn how to humble yourself. You might come in here with a big ego, but you're going to get humbled real quick. And it's okay to have a big ego, but you got to know when to use it and when not to use it. And I think, I was talking to someone else and talking about like life experiences and like life or death situations. And sometimes people just haven't gone through those things to really experience the humbleness and the reality. But man, I can tell you this much. If I'm somebody that's watching this and I'm not here right now, or I'm at your previous company and I'm thinking about making a shift or a switch and I'm staying there because of loyalty, what would you have to say to them?
I mean, being loyal is like, it's an admirable trait and it's a rare trait, right? And it's something I respect a lot, right? That's part of why I stayed there so long, is loyalty to my leaders, person who brought me into the company, and loyalty to my team. But at the end of the day, like, I had to kind of decide where my loyalty lies, and are these people loyal to me, right? Do they care about me like I care about them? And do they care about my people like that? The realization I came to is, my people are loyal to me and I need to be loyal to them, right? Because that's a two-way street. And at the end of the day, all I really cared about was just finding the best opportunity for them, right? Because I could have been selfish. Same with my top leaders, Tyrone, Vinny, all stayed. Like, we're all making pretty solid money, right? Enough to pay our bills, live comfortably, have fun, right? But mostly we just wanted a better opportunity for our people where they could actually fulfill their vision and dream that they had when they came into this industry. Because it wasn't to work 80 to 100 hours a week to make 500, maybe $1,000 a week on a good week.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. And selfless leaders are hard to come by in this industry, because a lot of times when people get to a certain level, they forget about the people that helped them get there. And I don't ever see that happen with you. And I'm proud to be in business with you, man. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate you.